Jacob S. here with NGT Academy, and I'm with Adam from Schneider Electric. And Schneider Electric, they do a lot of installations with APC stuff, right? Like battery arrays. Remember, we actually used to utilize Schneider Electric when I worked in the customer environment for all of our data center battery backup. Really great company. We really love working with Schneider. You guys do a great job. But anyhow, here with Adam, and you see here, they have this thing that basically looks like a big PC. That's what attracted me over. I'm like, oh, what is this? It looks like it's a cool new style of rack. And indeed, that is what it is. So Adam's going to break this down for us here and show us exactly what this cool new rack is all about.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you guys for taking the time to learn about our new rack. So traditionally, our customers have taken their IT equipment and mounted them in racks that kind of jet out or this way. And what customers were giving us as feedback was that they were having issues with it by having it come out so far that when they would walk in their room, it'd be kind of hazardous, kind of be in the way because of how far out it's stuck. So we kind of put our creative minds together to think, what's a way where we can help customers be able to mount their equipment, save on some footprint, but also still be able to support the traditional server length IT equipment that is.
So you came up with a brand new form factor of your own, basically.
Correct, yes. So if you gotta come over here, I'll kind of give you guys a little tour on what it's like inside this enclosure. So here on the front, we have the door. I'm gonna just pop this off for you. This door has a filter on here, so when you have it hanging up in your room, traditionally over time, you get a lot of dust and dirt that kind of floats up in the air. That helps kind of filter out those particles so it doesn't collect on your IT equipment inside and collect on your fans. So this helps with that.
Most racks actually don't have that. Most racks, the air and the dust can actually get in.
Correct, exactly. And then we've seen, I don't know if you guys have seen pictures over times where it cakes up on there and then the fans stop working.
Yeah, the fans eventually. Yeah, that's a common break action in IT.
Absolutely. So this is something that comes standard with this enclosure. And then as you look inside here, this enclosure can support up to 6U, so this is 1U space, so it does up to 6U of U space.
So this is basically like a rack turtle inside, a traditional 19-inch wide rack turtle inside.
That is correct, yes.
So here we can slide any different sliders. So slide a switch in, slide it out, up to 6U space. And here, all the way on the edge, this is the battery backup.
Yep, that is correct. So this is a brand new style of UPS that we just came out with as well. Traditionally, when we've had our UPSs operate off of VRLA, lead acid type batteries. And this UPS that's here now is a new lithium ion UPS. And what's unique about the lithium ion UPS is that it is smaller form factor, so its counterpart would take up an extra U space.
Get more battery and less U space.
Exactly. And then the biggest draw to lithium ion is the lifespan, right? Our VRLAs traditionally last 3 to 5 years. The lithium ions actually last 10 years.
Wow, that is really good, really a great improvement.
Exactly. So that's something that Schneider's really big upon, is being sustainable, and this helps play into that. So now you only have to replace your UPSs, once every 10 years instead of twice.
That was always a big pain in my side, having to replace these things, or the UPS units going out, sometimes in 2 years, 2 to 3 years. Oh, I got to replace all. I totally forgot about that. That's a new project we got to spin up, get all these new batteries installed.
Absolutely, and that's something we're trying to help customers solve, that challenge with the software package that goes along with it. Is that we now have artificial intelligence that does predictive analytics, where we're taking a big data link of all the customers that have similar UPSs that are deployed. They see how many times the UPS is going on battery, the temperature of the room that it's operating, and it does predictive analytics on, we've seen these customers that have similar scenarios, their units will last 6 years. So we expect you to have to either replace your battery or replace the unit in 6 years if you maintain the same conditions.
Right, got it. And it's cool to see a lot of companies, not just Schneider and APC, but a lot of companies really getting more efficient with their products, right? I like seeing that. We're just over at the Hyperflex booth, kind of same concept, getting things more compact, more efficient, operating better. But let's dive into more of the rack here.
Absolutely. So let me take you over here. I'm going to just bring your eyes to the top. So we were just looking at the rails inside the rack. Those rails are for traditional 19-inch rack mount equipment. This is if you have any DIN rail mounted equipment, you can put that on top.
Or equipment on top of the rack. Hey, that's a great idea.
And then I'm going to open it up on the side here so you can take a look on what it looks like. Okay, I think I just locked it. My apologies.
Yeah, so you can see.
Oh, what do we got here?
Oh wait, how'd that get in there? How did that get in there actually? Hey, look at that. NGT Academy was inside the rack. How did that happen? I don't know, folks. We'll never know how they got in there, but there it was.
So as you look inside here, now you can kind of see a little more on the length of the rack, what the rail system kind of looks like inside. This is a better view of how the lithium-ion UPS looks, so it's a shorter depth.
Yeah, it's like half the depth of your standard traditional hubs unit.
Absolutely. So that's why this particular UPS is more designed for these type of smaller deployments. So it can save on depth on the front, but also in the back as well, because now, even though you have 6U here, you actually have the ability to mount additional IT equipment in the back also.
And it looks like it also won't take a gorilla to install.
Correct. Exactly.
Really cool. I love the way this is. I mean, I would get one of these, for mini data center any day. In fact, I might actually get something like this when we upgrade our lab at the office. It'll be a perfect little lab rack.
Awesome. Yeah, let me know how it goes. I love it.
Yeah, I will.
And then now let's take a look at the back here. So on the back, you see a couple fans. The fans are here because when you if you ever have your laptop on your lap, you can feel the heat, right? The IT equipment generates a lot of heat, so it needs some cooling in order to keep it operating at an appropriate temperature. And so that's what these fans are here for, to kind of provide some more airflow. It pulls the air from the front and ejects it out the back of the rack.
I love it. I mean, it keeps reminding me of like a PC case, right? So you've taken this concept of the PC case and applied it to the data center, where now you have the same style of kind of airflow through the case and everything, but instead of it being graphics cards and your motherboard inside the case, it's your battery backup units, your routers, your switches, and your servers inside the case. It's really cool.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. Thanks, Adam.
No problem.
I know we have one more thing.
Sure. Yeah, let's take a look.
Fan module.
Take off the fan module. So this is what the fans look like, but I'm also gonna pull your attention here to this little sensor. So this is an accessory that's in addition. It doesn't come with the AR106V. That's the part number for the wall box, but it is something that you can add to kind of bolster it depending upon your applications. What this does here is it connects to this other sensor. And so when I pull this panel off, it will send a notification that the door has been opened to the rack.
So you have one of these on every door then?
Correct, yes. And so this connects back to this device right here, which is called the Netbox. This Netbox is what sends the notifications.
Okay, yep. So you can fan out. Go back. This is the full 19-inch wide, basically APC rack unit, where you called it a Netbox, right? You could build in all kind of stuff like environment monitoring stuff, right?
Correct. Yep. So there's a temperature and humidity sensor, I believe, on the front of the rack.
You got that controls. You got that camera right there too, right?
Got the camera here. It also has the ability to put a rope leak sensor. So if you're in a place that might have potential water leakage, you can get notified.
Oh, those are extremely important. Actually, one time I was working in a data center and we got a call. There was water in the data center. What the heck? How was the water in the data center? Luckily, we had a sensor installed in the floor, and it actually detected water flowing. Now, what had happened was the AC unit actually broke. What was the manufacturer? I guess I won't say that, but the AC unit broke and there was water literally leaking underneath the raised floor in the data center.
Wow.
Yeah. So if we didn't have that sensor installed, the entire data center would have been destroyed. We caught it just in time. I actually remember going into the data center, pull up the tile floor, and it's like the tile from the floor, and there's like a river running down there. And we had these power outlets on the floor and the water was rising. It was about like right here. And so if the water got up to here, boom, everything would have, started powering down and catching on fire. So yeah, these things are super important, right?
And then it also does smoke sensing, vibration if you're in an earthquake zone as well. And so that's a few of the sensors that it does. And then the other device here on the left is actually a RackPDU. So that RackPDU is what you would connect your IT equipment to, and it connects back to the UPS. So essentially this PDU here is actually a switch PDU, which being that this is probably going to be a set it, forget it type of equipment, where it's in a little environment where people don't access it too much. Instead of having to drive to the site or walk around trying to find the rack, you can remotely log into the PDU and reboot your server.
Yeah, and you
or
can power
switch.
cycle the actual power outlet, right? You can turn the power outlets on and off.
That is correct.
Right, and that's another thing. We used to have this feature in some of our racks too. Yeah, these are all very, very awesome features to have in your data centers, in your racks. So cool to see this stuff coming together in this form factor too. I see you called it a wall box, and I guess that's because it's actually made like for a wall. This could be in your IBM facility, right? Taking up half the space
Correct.
in the room.
Yep. So we're striving, even though I called this whole enclosure is called the wall box, but we like to think of it as a micro data center, right?
Yeah,
You
yeah.
had your whole solution in one little package.
Awesome. Hey, I think the next iteration version of this is going to be, the clear side. You're going to have to get some liquid cooling in there.
Yeah.
And then that's the next evolution to make it like a PC, right?
Exactly.
Hey, cool stuff, Adam.
Hey.
Really, really cool.
No problem. Thanks for taking the time to learn about our products. We really appreciate it and love the coverage. So thank you so much.
Yep, don't worry. Schneider Electric and APC, folks.
Jacob Hess here. Thank you for watching the video. I hope you really enjoyed it. And I'd also like to remind you, if you're truly serious about your career in information technology, then be sure to check out our IT engineer training programs at www.zerotoengineer.com.